Some are of the recalcitrant hedgehog, and vast armies are on the march across Ropa. Vast armies, but not large battles. In the northwest, Baron Verpelt loads his army onto Dunbaran ships and invades Tiplef Nazin. Prince Stepke's army is now isolated in Hertenkäse, fighting off small Maustrian detachments. In the north, the Dunbaran and Ublicon armies return to their capitals, content that Trentus has been defeated. Zuren and Westerwieber reoccupy the Lamarca Pass, as Ublicon forces evacuate. In the east, the Grand Army of the Coalition marches back from Platkov into Adorn, while Lord Flavisham leads his corps across the border and into Crimsonia for the first time, occupying Friesla. There are sieges and skirmishes and partisan uprising in Stilwen, but little else of great interest. In autumn, Verpelt sends troops everywhere, occupying Tiplef Nazin, seizing the capital in Panzera and blocking Prince Stepke's return with a sacrificial brigade. Tiplef Nazin is in serious trouble as von Tilsiter marches north with the remaining army from Stilwen to put the final nail into the coffin. In the east, Gudarian marches into Adorn, searching for the Grand Army of the Coalition, but Acorn has marched back into Crimsonia, but is blocked in Airedale by another Maustrian sacrificial division. Lord Flavisham continues on, occupying the twin cities of Casitiliano. The Manath and Crimsonian forces laying siege to Revdenia are interrupted by a small Maustrian attack. The Coalition Navy are now enforcing a blockade against Maustrian trade with Burdain, but the Maustrian Navy declines battle and retreats back to port. And all is quiet in the north, except for a West Thueben flotilla arriving in Maustrian-occupied Tiplef Nazin to investigate what, exactly, is going on. A remarkably mild winter, and armies march again. Prince Stepke, his army out of supply and falling apart by the day, storms back into Panzera to liberate the Ka'an's capital. But Verpelt and von Tilsiter are right there, ready to bring the death blow. In the east, the Grand Army of the Coalition, now with over 60,000 mice under arms, marches back into Adorn, hoping to engage Gudarian. But the Count knows when the odds are not in his favour, and marches his army south to Quillota, before riding off to take command of a separate division that attacks into Revdenii again, interrupting the siege. But Harnship and the Manath Guards are enough to drive Gudarian out. Flavisham lays siege to the Casitiliano forts, while a Maustrian raiding party crosses into Krogan, the furthest east Maustrian forces have ever advanced. The West Thueben forces march to the border in their Hohennieder, perhaps expecting that Gudarian might have marched north, but there is no one to fight in the swamps of Zuren. In the far south, war comes to Stilwen again, as Marshal Brunost calls out the partisan militia to liberate Narbach with the support of the Coalition Navy. A Crimsonian galleon is sunk by the Maustrian guns, but Narbach is lost to the kingdom. Brunost arrives to assume command of his country mice. The War of Liberation is underway. The year of the recalcitrant hedgehog comes to a close. Tiplef Nazin is almost out of the war, and Stilwen is rising again. The Grand Army of the Coalition is in search of an enemy to stand and fight, but Crimsonia is under serious threat, with 2 regions occupied by the Maustrians. There are ructions in the Senate, and the second citizen is calling for Laurel to resign and make peace. The Maustrians have lost thousands of soldiers, but are taking ground each season. As the year of the duplicitous feline dawns, is the war drawing to a dramatic conclusion?